So yesterday I ran across this Reddit post that talks about the psychology of debt, something we don't talk about often. And that made me think about how we invest in the psychology of debt. Now in this post, the original poster posted 3 states. The first state is you're in debt and you're trying hard to pay off that debt. So you attack it. You push whatever money you have into paying off that debt. The second state of debt is where you have good debt. So think about a 0% interest car loan or a 2% interest house loan or a home mortgage. And the idea here is that you're still behind the first state of debt. You're trying to pay off that debt, but at the same time, you have banks paying you like 4% interest now. So it makes sense for you to not pay off that debt and instead funnel money into a high yield savings account like with Wealthfront, which you can check out the video that I made here. But for the author, what they found is when they found themselves in that situation, they felt compelled to pay off that debt. It was literally driving them crazy. So eventually OP did the impossible, which is became debt free. And in their own words, they said, "You think I'd be thrilled, but I'm not. I don't know what to think. I spent so many years fighting to become debt free. And now that I'm here, I don't know what to do with myself. Mathematically, I know what to do, which is to take that money and invest it. But psychologically, I'm kind of lost." So here's what I think is going to happen to this person. They're going to die because humans are purpose-driven machines. We need to have something to do. That is why you always hear those stories about people who retire early, not knowing what they're going to do next, what their next goal, what their next task, what their next purpose is. Eventually what they'll do is they'll get so bored with life that they just end up kicking the bucket. So the state of debt that you fall in is heavily dependent upon the environment that you grew up with. And I find myself very lucky because my family growing up, we were always in the second state of debt, which means that we didn't have any car loan debt or anything like that because Chinese people paid cash for everything. So we never had a car loan. The only debt that we have is a home mortgage, which still has not been paid off. But as my parents are basically financially illiterate, they don't know how to attack debt. And the game that they're playing right now is incredibly dangerous and is a game that a lot of people are playing as well, which is that they are using the host as a collateral in order to borrow money to fund their lifestyle. Now the other day I was watching a minority mindset video and I learned that this is basically happening everywhere. Everybody is using their homes as collateral in order to fund their lifestyle, believing that home prices can never fall. And this is exactly what my parents have believed for the last 20 years. And there could be some truth to this, right? That home prices will just keep on going up forever until you think about what happened during the great financial crisis. I mean, we saw Detroit and what happened in Detroit. You know, home prices collapsed. You could buy homes for $1. All of the people who used their homes as collateral got liquidated and went bankrupt. So with credit card debt hitting $1 trillion, I feel that most people will never reach step 3, which is to become debt free. And personally, I think that most people with credit card debt had just given up. Most would just accept that having expensive credit card debt is the normal way of life. But for those few selected that have achieved debt freeness, they have to avoid the trap that OP fell into. And they need to make sure that they have this one thing set before they become debt free. And that one thing is purpose. And OP seems to have spent their entire life focusing on paying off debt. The focus was to pay off all debt. And I get it, but by doing so, they fell into a trap. And that trap that you have to avoid if you're on the same route is to make the focus of your life paying off debt. And that is why they're lost right now. Until they figure out what their heartfelt mission and purpose in life is, they're gonna feel this way forever. So there was another comment to calculate your financial independence number and pretend that it's debt. So for example, imagine you needed 1.5 mil in order to retire, and right now you only have 200K. Well, you're short 1.3 mil. You're gonna use that 1.3 mil as debt to society, and once you have that paid off, you can retire. And what I think about that is that is once again another money trap that is easily available for people to fall into. And it won't give fulfillment because what will happen is that you're using money again as your life purpose. And 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all evil." And I'll show you what that means because I made a video about a millionaire who is a millionaire and he's completely depressed with his life. And you can find that video right here.